to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, help and guide us as we make these decisions for the city of Boonville and its citizens. And thank you for the beautiful weather. Amen.
Amen. Roll call.
Young,
Here.
Meadows,
Here.
Coward,
Here.
Harville,
Here.
Elbert,
Here.
Venable,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Atkinson.
Here.
All right, we have a hearing of citizen comments, and it looks to me like somebody's going to say something. Please remember that with your speech is limited to 5 minutes, and I'll be the one watching for it. Okay, so who's up?
Is it open floor for anything?
Anything.
Right.
Anything.
Well, not any.
All right. I am Jeff Overstreet. I'm one of the owners of CMMG and Conquest and BR Gun Supply. I wanted to ask and inquire a little bit about the airport. We've been utilizing the airport for several years right now, and I know that there's been some improvements already happening out there, and I know there's some other improvements slated. I know there was some surveyors out to look to repair taxiways, and it's my understanding that once the fuel tanks had gotten painted, which they have now, and taxiways are repaired, that there's an opportunity to receive federal grant money to improve the FBO out there. The FBO, again, as I understand, was a temporary building built, I think, over 40 years ago, and it's been hanging on. Temporary has long since expired, but we absolutely make the best of it out there. One of the things that I was curious about, if there was a time frame on those repairs for those of us who do rent hangar space out there. I need to find out if, I'd like to find out if I need to move my plane somewhere else. And so just want to see if that was ever going to be on the agenda or planned or scheduled at any time. One other thing that I would like to offer is Boonville, being as unique as it is, the fact that it is where it's located and what it offers, both location-wise and what's in the town, it's very, very attractive. And we own 3 aircraft, but we only keep 1 in Boonville. Our big plane we have to keep down in Jefferson City because there's no hangar space here. You guys have an asset, the city has an asset that's worth millions of dollars right now. And inside that it houses millions of dollars worth of people's property. And so I'd like to see, with this grant money, with improvements on an FBO, to see the city really exploit that and bring other people in. I know there's other businesses in town that can't utilize this. What I wanted to offer is that if the entire council, mayor included, would like to visit some other FBOs in comparable cities, whether it's Brookfield, Lebanon, Clinton, Mexico, I would gladly like to schedule something where I can fly all of you guys there. I do have another pilot that's on payroll with me who's also an instructor. I think it would be a really neat experience for everyone here to see the private side of flying. If you've never had that opportunity before, I would gladly offer that to you guys. Does anyone have any questions for me in regards to that? Is that something that you guys can talk amongst yourselves and I can come up? Yes.
What's an FBO?
FBO is a fixed base operations.
Okay.
So that most FBOs offer a place to use the restroom. There's a pilot's lounge, a place where pilots do their briefing, get all the information on weather, flight planning, also for instruction. Again, that is offered here in Boonville, but it's really crowded, and I'm not knocking it because it's what we have, and I will absolutely use what we do have. That was one of the things that I was wanting to show on going to some of these other places, and especially whenever there's federal grant money involved. I mean, the runway has just recently been resurfaced, and it's an amazing runway. The bones of this airport is awesome. There was a lot of planning put into it, and it's great for approaches even when the weather is really, really bad.
Good. I think you've already got the means. Just looking at the group that you've got back there, that's a good way to get started with a committee. We have not seen an airport committee for how many years? I mean, it's been since forever.
We don't even have one in ordinance.
And so we might, that might be the way to get started.
Okay.
But you're correct, it is interesting. It does have some potentials.
Well, it is. I mean, and the fact that you've got an asset that's completely paid for and is generating a revenue and has the ability to generate more revenue, not only through rentals and sales of fuel, or rentals of space and sales of fuel, through instruction, through, I don't know, have fly-ins, and it also spills over into the community with restaurant sales, fuel, taxis, all that kind of good stuff.
Right. Let's do that way. Set up a time for us to sit down at City Hall and
Okay,
get the conversation started.
very good. But and if you guys would consider doing that, where we could either talk face to face on that, and if we could schedule a flight, that would be fantastic.
Well, we have we have several people that have to agree, so I'm not going to say we would do that. But if we can get the conversation started, that should help quite a bit.
Very good.
Good. Thank you,
Anybody else
sir.
have any questions for me?
I'd volunteer to be a part of that discussion if needed. If you want someone on council to represent the airport, I'd be happy to volunteer for that role.
Excellent. That's where we start.
Okay, very good.
All right.
I'll be in
Thank-
touch with your people.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sir. Thank you, Andrew.
Hello, I'm Heather Overstreet. I own Top Dog Training LLC, and I'm in training to be a pilot as well. And I just wanted to come up here and back up what Jeff Overstreet said, and really encourage you guys to accept his invite, because I think you're going to be blown away, like, at what you see, and it's just like a whole other world. It's very, very neat, and like he said, it can bring a lot in and keep a lot here. So like when pilots come and they land, they stay. They have somewhere to go, they have somewhere to hang out, they'll spend money here. And I agree with what he said, like Boonville has a lot going for it. And I think an airport would be, like in my mind, it would be a priority. And I just wanted to give my 2 cents and back him up.
All right. Thank you.
Can you guys please sign in?
Oh,
Both of you?
do you want me to sign you in?
Good reminder.
Yeah, I literally looked at it and
Well, when you went through your first batch of meetings, you probably signed in then, didn't you?
yes. Let's see. Do we have to put our phone number?
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
My name is Reed. I'm a resident here in Boonville. I'm also training to become a pilot. And kind of add what Heather and Jeff said. Anytime you go to an airport like a private one, Jet City, Brooklyn, or whatever, you want to have a trip out of it, right? You're paying to go to an airplane, you're paying to go somewhere, and you want to make a trip out of it. So to add to a lot of revenue that you can make, a lot of times, anytime I go someplace, I like to spend money, make an experience out of, like scrapbook memory, you can say as well. And Boonville has that great potential of being able to do that. Like going up to Hannibal, we can go do that trip. There's a taxi that can take us somewhere, and we can just have a trip out of going to someplace in Hannibal. And right now, Boonville is lacking in that department, I think, with our current airport situation. So I just want to give my opinion on what potential that we do have here as well.
Do we have a courtesy vehicle out there? I know like Marshall has a courtesy vehicle.
What'd you say?
A courtesy vehicle, I know like Marshall Airport, you have a courtesy vehicle to use there. I was just curious if we did. I never looked into that.
All right. Yes, sir.
My name is John Troyer, and I recently came to Boonville about a year and a half ago. I own Signature Remodeling and Overhead Doors. We're a maintenance construction company. We also own, our company has an airplane, and we hang out here at Boonville. And so I don't have much to add to what Jeff has already presented. I'm 100% on board with what he's already talked to you about. And I care about investing in my local community, so I'm here to help. And I really would like to see what we've already talked about. I think it's a tremendous opportunity, not only for the town, but also for those of us who are invested here to bring clients and friends and show them, what we have. And so the amenities that we could have out there is tremendous, like Jeff said. And so we have a lot going for us, and I just want to give my support to do what I can as a local business owner. I want to help and be here to make Boonville better. So
Make
just
sure you
wanted
sign
to
in.
put my cents on the line there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. All right. Approval of the minutes from the February 20 council meeting, pages 3 through 5. Do we have any corrections or, okay, then they will be accepted as brought to us. There are no consent items. Presentation of accounts and claims on page 6.
Be it ordained by the council of the City of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the City of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on March 4th, 2024. The sum of $344,551.89. General Fund, $31,593.56. Sanitation, $35,745.82. CIP tax, $93,899.31. Waterworks, $102,422.36. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $63,411.68. Tourism, $5,195.66. Gaming, $8,455.00. Parks and Water, $0.00. Kemper sales tax, $3,828.50. Economic Development Projects, $0.00. Section 2, the accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $344,551.89, being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading, March 4, 2024, read for the second time this March 4, 2024, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve these accounts and claims.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Whitney. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson.
Yes.
Okay, item 7, unfinished business. Second reading of bill number 2024-02, approving the budget for fiscal year 24 and 25. It's on page 7.
An ordinance ordinance accepting and approving the budget for the City of Boonville, Missouri for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31, 2025.
Thank you. Item 8, new business. A, first reading of bill number 2024-003, ordinance amending the rates for water and wastewater services portion of the schedule of administrative fees, Appendix G, in the Code of General Ordinances.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending the water service rates and wastewater service rates portions of the Schedule of Administrative Fees, Appendix G in the Code of General Ordinances, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Thank you. Item B, cloud software conversion.
On pages, I think 12 and 13 of your packet, there's a memo from me. We've talked about looking at our, what I keep calling the backbone software of the city, which does our payroll, our AP, AR, general ledger, bank reconciliation, online bill pay, basically everything, except for the time clock system. Everything else is run out of Encode. We are currently on a system called Encode 9. It's on our computer. We have our own drive, and it's dated. So that's the best way to describe it. It's just old, and it's not the most user-friendly thing you have used. So when you have new staff coming in, it can take a lot of time for them to sort of get comfortable in the system. And all of the training with Encode is done virtually, so that's also can be a challenge. Some people are awesome virtual, and some people should not ever sit in a virtual training. So that's part of the challenge we're also finding. But also with Encode 9, just in general, we get the feeling like Encode is trying to move us away from 9 into 10, which is their cloud-based software. So they offer a cloud-based software. The quality of training has declined in 9, or when you call help, they can't always help us. But when we've asked questions about 10, they're great. So, and the people we talk to say that 10 is great. So we just sort of feel like they're sort of slowly trying to phase out 9 as it is. So amongst those reasons, and like I said, also Teresa is a guru of Encode. Like, she should go, when she retires from the city, she should go work for them. Because she can do everything on the front end and on the back end, which is great, and it is a huge asset for the city. But also it ends up being sort of a weird time suck, because Teresa ends up doing things for Encode that really we pay the software company that they should be doing for us. And I remember ML, when he was here, he always talked about people being hit by the proverbial bus. So I always say if Teresa were hit by the proverbial bus, we would be in real trouble with Encode 9. So I don't know, probably back in October, we first started, basically the city hall staff, Amber, myself, Teresa, and also Kim Gerlach, started meeting with 3 companies to look at some cloud options. One was Encode 10, one was BSNA, and the last one was Edmunds. I'm going to say that in general, the city doesn't do anything particularly special when it comes to our software. We're not particularly unique to municipal backbone software. We do kind of the same thing that 99.99% of everyone else in the city is doing, or other municipalities are doing. So after all of those things, after all of these reviews, after cost proposals and countless Zoom meetings and demonstrations, I'm bringing forth a recommendation that we make a transition to BSNA. There's a lot of reasons. It was preferred by some staff, but not all staff. I'll let you know. Some staff didn't have an opinion about which one we went to. The biggest thing for me came down to cost, because I couldn't justify the cost of Encode. The annual maintenance was closer to $52,000. The annual maintenance with BSNA is $35,000. So I just couldn't see for almost $20,000 that we were getting something that was $20,000 better every year. But But also the other big selling point, I think, for some people was that the implementation and training, they actually come here and they sit right next to the people. So they'll sit next to Kim Gerlach when she's doing AR, and she'll see how she does it all. And so for 2 weeks, they'll be here basically building our system, watching what she's doing before they migrate over. So it's not done virtually, and I think that appealed to lots of staff. We also did bring in Kim Burnett, who does the water billing side, because she's also a huge user of Encode, obviously. We brought her in a little bit later just because she's newer to Encode, so I was trying to give her as much time to get familiar with Encode, so when she saw something else, she would be more comfortable on making an opinion. BS&A, like I noted in the memo, it includes the general ledger, cash receipting, business license, accounts payable, accounts receivable, human resources. There's also going to be an online employee portal, which will be fantastic because right now we still print out check stubs. So we print out 85 check stubs every 2 weeks. You guys get them too. I'm sure you all open them every 2 weeks and look at them. So we'll have that. We won't have to print W-2s. I mean, it's just going to be more freeing for us to do a lot of that stuff. We're just going to be moving. It will give us utility billing, including online bill pay like we have now. And then we are adding building department, so the building permits will go online as well. That's something we've been wanting to move towards. So the other thing I liked is that some companies charge what they call a bridge fee. So when you're going from like Nova Time, which is our online timesheet, to Encode, they charge us an annual bridge fee, which is just like meeting the two. BS&A doesn't charge bridge fees, so that is sort of relieving because you start to feel like you're getting nickels and dimes sometimes. While there's not anything we really need, I kind of just need a motion if you guys are comfortable. If you want more information, I can bring stuff. If you want to see a demonstration, I can give you a demonstration. But given that the total conversion is about $150,000, which I do have budgeted, it's coming out of water, sewer, and gaming, we'll need a motion to move forward with that process. And it also is a long term. It's 12 to 18 months. It takes a long time because they look at the way you do stuff. And then for a while, you kind of do two systems at the same time. And then eventually you move all the way to the one, and then you do it and you make sure it all works. So it's a long-term process. So I'm hoping you guys, I think this will be a good move for our staff. I think all of the cloud systems look much more like Google or whatever your search engine is. So if you're familiar with the way the internet works, it looks more like that than more like a pick this menu, pick this menu, pick this menu, pick this menu. That's the challenge with Encode 9. It's very step by step by step, and it's not as intuitive. And there's just some other upgrades from 9 to the cloud on all of them. I want to say the cloud just generally is really helpful, that I think will help all of us, plus it'll help our new staff coming on board. And I think the other good thing is that we're going to be able to cross-train some more of our staff. So we've always said, like, Brenda does all the business licenses, and Teresa can do it because she can do almost everything. But no one else knows how to do business licenses. So no, like if those two are gone, we're like, sorry, you just have to wait. So we're hoping to have a few more people cross-trained. That's something we learned in COVID too. I mean, of course, when people started working different places and you can't do it all, then you're getting more gaps. So starting with a new system, we're going to kind of be able to train up lots of people so that, more people will be familiar. And I think that's only going to be the benefit to all of us. And then the last thing I just want to say, a lot of this is our goal, has always been my goal, to free up more of Kim Gerlach's time, because as we want to take more credit card payments, which is I think the goal we need to be more sort of like a 24-hour service virtual city hall where you could make shelter house reservations, pay for your building permit, pay for your business license, all those things. The credit card apparatus is very difficult with accounting because you're always trying to figure out, like, the credit card machine takes your money off the top, and so you're always having to figure it out and making sure you're matching the right stuff. And you don't always, it doesn't say, Whitney Venable paid $20. It could just say Visa card, blah, 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 1983. So you're like, I don't know, is it this building permit or this one? So that's one thing we've even been learning with utility billing. So we know that that's a bigger time suck. So if we're going to take more credit cards, I've got to free up more of Kim's time. so we can better manage that. So with all of that, like I said, I'm happy to do anything else you want, but it's just sort of my recommendation. I won't say it's everybody's recommendation. It's kind of a split bag, but I think for me, the money part was a big thing. I think to spend $20,000 less every year on our software, I think we can utilize elsewhere. So I'd like a motion for the staff to proceed with migrating to BSNA, but if you want me to bring something to the next meeting, I can.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and pursue this.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Question.
motion and a second.
Steve has a question.
Steve,
So how many people have looked at this at the city?
Amber, Teresa, Kim Burnett, Kim Gerlach, and myself. So basically everyone who has their hands in
Okay.
our current financial
And
system.
they all agree?
No, they don't all agree. I have 3 people who voted for BSNA. I have 1 person said, please don't make me move to the cloud. And I have 1 person who said Encode.
Okay.
I know, I was about to ask.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a majority is for this.
right, Susan?
I was just wondering, the third-party software, most everything you would be bridging will be compatible.
Yeah, I did double check with them because we originally this year we had talked about trying to migrate to more online stuff for the Parks Department. That's the like kind of to us the next low hanging fruit, like shelter house reservations, pool parties, those sort of things. But because we were in the process of doing this software search, we kind of paused on that because depending on what you went with, some places offer a Parks and Recs module, as they call it, but not all of them. BSNA does not offer a module, but they said that their municipalities, several of them have others, and they don't charge a bridge fee for any of those, and they said we'll give you all those names in the cities that use them so you can do some searching.
And one other question, is there anything with the animal shelter that would be part of a bridge to the software?
They do have another third-party software, but it doesn't connect to our financial system. So a lot of it is if it's tied to the payments. And what we have been doing lately is that anytime there's an adoption, it always happens at City Hall. If it's during regular business hours at City Hall, if it's after hours, it happens at the police department. And that's primarily just a financial control to make sure, because a lot of times they're working by themselves. And if there's only one person working and they bring in 100, it's just easier to have someone else in the money go, and they're not keeping the money. So that's what we've done thus far. And I think they're going to move towards having more standardized adoption times also. So like adoptions happen Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 or whatever. So they'll all be done that way. But yeah, if you come to City Hall, sometimes there's like 10 puppies
Oh,
running
yeah,
around.
it's great. I love it. Hope they never stop coming to City Hall to adopt the dogs.
Will this be a benefit to the water department also?
Yeah,
That's Kim
As
Burnett.
far,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that all their stuff will migrate over as well.
Will the events be online too? So like street closures, parades, things like that? Because right now you print the form, right? And then you fill it out.
It's a fillable PDF form right now. So this is separate from that. This is more related to like the finance backside. But it is a fillable PDF form online. So someone can fill it out if they want, or they can print it out. It just depends what their pleasure is.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Any more questions? Motion?
You got it.
Already got it, so we move forward.
We need to vote.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Okay, Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Edward,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Any more miscellaneous?
We're on reports of standing committees first.
Okay.
Which there isn't any.
We kind of lost.
Motion
Yeah, we kind of got lost for a minute.
to adjourn?
Nope, we're not ready for that.
Okay,
We're on reports of city
I mean,
officials.
we're ready for that, but
so you flip me on one thing and then you flip me on the other too. Okay, reports of city officials.
I have just a few things I wanted to give you guys some updates since you guys were asking about the airport project. March 20th is the pre-bid meeting for the taxi lane project. We're opening bids on April 2nd. I would say, given that, probably 30 to 60 days to when they start after that, but I can't quote you on that, but it will be at least probably into May before there'd be any construction. But again, that's just the bid opening, and it will come to council for approval. So if they open on the 2nd, whatever the next regular council meeting is, these guys will approve the contract.
You said the bid opening is April 2nd? Okay.
And then I also just wanted, we used to have courtesy vehicles, and answer your question, they were not supposed to leave the city limits, which was never occurred. They usually went to Columbia. And then we had some,
Probably didn't specify which city limit.
yeah, and then, no.
That's outside by itself.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, we had a gentleman who got a DUI in one, and that's when we pulled them. So, just so you know, that's how that happened, so, then we just quit providing them for a little bit, not to say that the door is closed, but we were just like, we're out of this business for a minute, thank you. And then just for the people that weren't at the council meeting last week, 'cause I know some of you guys were out, we did get another year of tax collection approved. It's the same, there was no change in the agreement, the dollar stayed the same, the time limit stayed the same, everything stayed the same. I did try to get it extended for 2 years, so maybe we weren't quite so quick up, but they preferred to keep it at 1, so. And that was approved by the quorum that was here.
And it's signed and done now, right?
Dad's gonna sign it still, but yes.
And then we're good
And then we're good.
For a year.
for a year.
For a year.
Okay.
Any other miscellaneous? I have none.
City official.
You got
Do you
another
have
one?
anything else?
No, I don't.
Amber, do you have anything?
Did you have something? No?
No?
Okay.
I do have a question. So on the airport stuff, so you had mentioned that the bids for the taxiway were coming up. Weren't there a couple other items that we talked about in the budget? Or was that it?
It's all encapsulated in that one bid because it's all the taxi lane plus there's an alternate bid for the open-ended hangars, repaving those, but that's an alternate bid. We're just seeing how they come in.
That's what it was. Okay, all right, thank you.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Who's seconding?
I'll second.
Thanks, Andrew. Everybody pick up and leave.